All right, that is the buzzer for the end of warm-ups. Lady Rough Riders 14 AA versus Team Wyoming. We'll have 15-minute periods. Not sure if it's a run clock. Since our last game, we have one additional player, so we're down to 10 skaters. Lady Rough Riders are in their dark jerseys as visitors. Team Wyoming is in their light tan and brown jerseys for home. Looks like we have Jesse on point, Josie on this near wall, Paige on the bar, Harper and Harper on our D. We've got 2 lines of defense and 2 lines of offense for this game today. Good face off by Jesse. Gets over to Josie, Josie to Paige. Paige drives it into the zone. And first shot on goal by Paige. That was a good 12 seconds of a period. Another good face-off by Jesse to Paige. Paige immediately gets a shot off. Their goalie is able to get a glove on it. It's another good way to do a face-off, 3 seconds shot on goal. Team Wyoming got that face-off, but it gets back to Harper O. Harper O put it in the corner. Jesse's and Josie are looking for it. Jessie got knocked off her skates. Team Wyoming was able to get it into the neutral zone. Some back and forth as it goes from Harper O to Jesse. They drive it in. Paige is looking for her 3rd shot on goal this morning. She tries to center, but the goalie was way out of the crease and got a leg pad on it. Good wraparound attempt by Paige as she gets off her skates and tries to sweep the puck in. During that push, we had Harper and Harper off the ice with Maddie Benish and Georgia on the ice. We have Maddie Lemon out there doing the face-off, backed up on this near wall by Ori, and the far wall adds. Team Wyoming was able to get it out of their zone into ours. Georgia picks it up before it gets too far in. She puts it all the way across the ice, shot and goal by Georgia from our zone. Team Wyoming's trying to get it out, but we're putting some good pressure. Georgia picks it up at the red line. She chips it back in, but no. We had one ref say it was clear, one ref that said it was icing. We're down to 13:39 this first period. Harper and Harper are back in on D. Good face-off. Team Wyoming was able to get it. They got a shot off, but Harper S was right there to block it. We're back in their zone, but it just got out as we reset. Harper to Harper. Harper puts it across the ice. Good deflection by Team Wyoming. No icing call on Rough Riders. Ori's down that corner getting backed up by Ads. Maddie Lemon was right up on the front porch ready to put one in. Good centering pass to Ori. Shot toward goal by Harper S. Goes wide. Harper O saves the blue line in front of the Wyoming bench. Some back and forth over there at the top of the circle. Gets picked up by Harper S. at the red line. She's driving in solo as we switch out the bench. Team Wyoming was able to get a puck on it, but Josie and Paige were able to get off the bench fast enough to keep us in the zone. Georgia and Maddie Benish off the bench for D. We have Jessie right in the crease, just getting shoved in the back by one of the defenders. Jessie gets pushed up off her skates. I don't know if she's got a skate problem or what, but she's fallen a few times now. I don't know. It's pretty early here, so I wouldn't blame her. Puck all the way across the ice. Icing call against Team Wyoming. We're all the way down to 12:01 on the clock. Jessie's doing the face-off. We have Paige and Josie out there. Good face-off by Jessie. Gets it back to Georgia. Georgia puts it in the goal. She chipped it all the way up and over. It was airborne until it hit the back of the net. That is a goal by the Lady Rough Riders at 11:55. Same front line. D has changed out to Harper and Harper. Jessie gets back to Harper S. Harper S to Harper O. Harper O to Josie, who's got this crazy long reach off the post near the ring. And all the O's from the right side of me. Harper picks it up in the red, or just over the red. She drives it in. Paige picks it up as it gets past her. Shot toward goal. It goes far to the right. Josie stops her from leaving the zone. She gets up to Paige. Paige keeps hold of it. She's looking for a nice side shot. Jessie was there to try and chip it in. Harper S gets to this near wall and was able to get a shot into the corner. It goes high. Team Wyoming gets it back out into the zone. Harper to Harper, but the pass goes wide. Harper O is picking up. She takes it behind. Team Wyoming's putting pressure. Gets through the legs. Shot toward goal, but Jessie was able to stop it. Jessie to Josie. Josie's in the zone. Gets a shot. Team Wyoming gets a leg pad on it. Nice little reminder from Paige to Team Wyoming that this is hockey into the wall. It's up to Lemon. She's up here. She gets a shot toward goal. She had 3 on her back. Georgia goes in deep. Keeps it in. Ori gets on the ice, and she's down there battling against 1, 2. Team Wyoming's looking for a across the ice pass. Georgia picks it up before it gets into our zone. She gets it across the red line as she gets shoved off her skates. Down to the 10-minute mark as Team Wyoming tries to get out of the zone. You just get it right over the edge. Maddie Benish and Maddie Lemon keep it in. Ori's down there deep. Oh, off the post. Actually, I think it was off the bottom bar of the net. Georgia's saving that blue line. She puts it in deep as she goes off the ice. Team Wyoming tried to get across the red line. Maddie Benish was right down below us, putting a stick on it, kept it in. Ori and Ads were in deep, so there's a reset here at the neutral zone. Maddie Benish to Harper O. Harper O chips it across. Puck's in deep. Team Wyoming banked it off the wall. Harper S stopped at the red line. She was looking for an opening as girls were trying to get on sides. Team Wyoming rushed the neutral zone and drove it down into the inside corner. Paige was able to drive the puck off the skate or off the stick. Sorry, words are hard this morning. Paige is in the zone. She's got two on her right at the top of the far circle. Gets away from her. Harper O saves the blue line. She puts it in deep into the corner. Jesse's got it. Harper S gets a shot. It hit off the post on a rebound. Paige was there for the rebound and put it in. Paige for goal number 2 at 8:32. I don't know if it hits off the post, if that's a assist by Harper S, but either way, lead Rough Riders, goal number 2. Same starting line, Josie, Jesse, and Paige out there on our front. Jessie wins that faceoff. She gets it over to Josie. Josie gets it into the zone. Harper and Harper on D. Jessie's trying to get some time with that puck. She's got one on her that just keeps... Oh, she does a great centering pass. Team Wyoming goalie was able to smother it right at the edge of the post. Harper O off. Georgia on with Harper S on D. Lemons at the point. Ads on the far. Ori on this near wall. Team Wyoming gets out. They're across the neutral into our zone. Georgia's on her, gets a stick on the puck. Takes control of the puck back behind our net. She passes up to Ads to Ori. Ori's going to grab it here just over the red line. She's in the zone speed. She's back to the goal line as she goes off her skates. Lemon's there to back her up. Lemon put a perfect centering pass. It gets past everybody. Georgia stopped it. She gets the shot toward goal. And we're offsides. Ori was still a little bit too deep when we got the puck across. We're going to have a face-off in front of the Rough Riders bench. We're down to 7:32. Lemon on this face-off. Good win by Maddie. Gets through the legs of Ori. Team Wyoming gets a shot off on goal. It was a dribbling, slow one. Always makes you nervous. Cora was able to cover it up. We're down to 7:24. So we had Georgia and Harper O out there now. Jesse, Paige, and Josie. Jessie takes control of the far circle. She gets up to Paige. Nice pass. Paige has got almost the entire team of Wyoming on her at this point. They clustered up on her. Jessie gets an elbow up. Wyoming goes down. Another Wyoming picks it off Jessie's stick. Paige backing up Georgia as Georgia got tangled up in that far circle. Another shot and goal by Paige. Hits the goalie in the upper chest, bounces off. There's a rebound. Josie was there. Gets another shot, but Team Wyoming smothered it. Periods go by fast. We're down to 6:41 in this first period. Lady Rough Riders lead by 2. We have Harper and Harper on D, Ads, Ori, and Maddie Lemon on point. Ori gets it back to Harper, but there's Team Team Wyoming got onto it quick. Turnover at the red line, gets back into the zone. Harper keeps it in the zone. Shot just slightly over the net as it hits the back glass. Or he picks it up in that far corner. We have Ads and Lemon just getting shoved and pushed in front. There's a whistle as the battle is still going against the wall. And they're taking it out of the zone. Wow. We're down to 6:09. Lemon gets it forward, gets to Team Wyoming. Harper's battling out on this blue line, keeping it out of our zone. She gets it up to Ori. Lemon was in the mix. I didn't even see her, but she went down. Wyoming gets it all the way into our far circle. Ads ties it up in that wall, backed up by Lemon. Ads was able to get it all the way across neutral zone, and it goes short of an icing. Ori's in deep. Jesse tries to stop it, gets past. Team Wyoming is getting it all the way into our zone. Harper was able to get a stick on it, and it's out of our zone. I think the girls are having fun. It's getting into a pushing match out there along this wall. Harper S. and one of Wyoming lost her stick in the battle at the red line. Jessie goes down again. I definitely think she's got a problem with her skates. I didn't see her get tangled up with anybody, and she lost an edge. And she goes down again. This time she got pushed down, so at least there's a good reason, other than, you know, something wrong with her skates. All right, Josie gets it back into the zone. Gets out of the zone across the red line. We have two Wyoming. Lemon picks her off. She goes spinning. Josie saves this wall. She's taken across the red line. Lemon's on the far side. Josie's setting up for a nice centering. She's got one on her. She does great centering pass back to Lemon. It's almost a good tip in. Puck on the far wall over there by Wyoming's bench. Georgia saves that blue line. Lemon picks it up in the neutral zone. Gets over to Paige, but just gets past her on the bank. Lemon picks it up again in the center circle. Jessie's on the ice. She gets it back to Georgia right at our blue line. She gets it over to Josie. It gets off Josie's skate. Wyoming did not touch it, and the ref waved it off, so no icing. Josie gets tangled up on the far wall. Harper O is saving our blue line. Wyoming to Wyoming at center ice. Harper O and Jesse and Josie were there to block it. Sorry, Georgia. Looks like Harper O is having a conversation with the girl as she went off her skates. Wyoming spending a lot of time on our zone at this point. We're down to 240 in this first period. We keep trying to center, but we keep clogging up any kind of passing lanes and shooting lanes. All right, the puck's finally out. Ori picks it up. Ori's in the zone with Georgia. Georgia gets it in this far corner. She's looking for someone to pass to. She gets over to Jesse, gets over his stick. Harper O saves it. She puts it in deep. Ori's getting pinned up in that wall. Ads is pinning one of the girls to the wall as Team Wyoming finally gets it out of their zone. Some back and forth at the red line. We have 3-on-1. 2-minute mark. Puck is loose and into the zone. Icing call against Lady Rough Riders. We got a face-off happening with Lemon on point. Josie Page, Harper S, and Maddie Benish out there. Some back and forth across the center of the ice. Wyoming went down trying to skate backwards. Page is loose. She had a lot of speed, but she puts a centering pass back to Josie. Josie got tied up. Puck is loose all the way back into our zone. Icing call against Wyoming. It's like a minute 28 on the board. We have Jesse on point. Josie and Paige are still out there. Harper and Maddie Benish. Good face off by Jesse. She gets back to Harper. Harper doesn't have a shooting lane. She puts it along on the outside wall. Paige picks it up behind the net, gets over to Jesse. Jesse tries to center it to Josie. Harper puts it again down into the corner. Josie rushes over to pick it up. Gets loose again. Harper tries to take a shot, but Wyoming was able to get a stick on it and started tumbling. Far corner, Jesse and Josie worked on it and teamed up on Wyoming and was able to take control of it. Wyoming's getting nervous as they're just trying to clog up any kind of shooting opportunities. Harper S on a shot, hits and bounces over the stick, hits the body, and Team Wyoming covers it up. We're down to 45 seconds in this first period. Lady Rough Riders lead Team Wyoming by 2. Lemon on point, Ori on this near wall, Ads on the far wall. Harper, saves this blue line as it tumbles and bounces. She got control of it, and we have George on the far D. Wyoming was able to get it across the zone, but they got tied up in their own players, and Ori got a turnover here right below us. Lemon's backing her up, gets up to Ori. Ori's in against one shot on goal. It ricochets off one of these skaters. Ori tries to center it. Lemon and Ads are there. They're trying to get a solid shot, but there's just... Oh, puck's loose. Oh, puck just got out of the zone. We're down to 2-1. There's the buzzer. Georgia picked it up in our zone as she tries to do a final shot in a final buzzer. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, I lied a lot more than 60 seconds, but Looks like the refs are having a fine conversation and have let the time roll past the minute mark. Here's the whistle, start of the second period. Another 15 minutes on this clock. Cora's off to her new net for the second period. We have Paige on that far wing, Jesse on point, Josie on this near, Harper and Harper on D. Some back and forth at that center point as their center goes off her skates, but she's able to get it into our zone. She's getting back checked, forechecked, and every which way checked as she goes off her skates. Jesse picks it up back behind our net. She does some dangling past Wyoming, gets over to Josie. Josie's putting on speed, and she's looking for a shot. It hits the edge of the skate of the Wyoming goalie. Jesse to Paige in that far circle. Puck gets centered. Jesse picks it up. We're trying to find a spot to get some open passes. Puck gets past our D line. Harper S is back to it first, back behind our net. Goes D to D. Harper O rushes over to the far corner. She picks it up. Goes loose off the end of her puck, but Jesse was there to pick it up before it got taken by Team Wyoming. Puck is just back and forth, but behind our goal line as we're finally able to go get some passes going. Josie and Paige are working on getting it up there, but they've got the entire Team Wyoming on them at this moment. Puck gets centered. Maddie Lemon flies onto the ice, and she keeps it in play. Shot on goal by Lemon. Goalie was there, put a stick on it. Rebound. Josie gets a shot, and it goes high to the right. Wyoming chips it up and out of their blue line, gets across the red line. Harper S gets a stick on it, backed up by Josie. Georgia's picking up behind our D line. She puts it and wraps it around. It's out of the zone as it's rolling like a tire across the red line. Wyoming picks it up, some back and forth. Lemon's putting some good pressure. Wyoming's got it into our zone. Great shot by Wyoming. I think someone nicked it in another shot toward goal. All right, Harper S is doing some dangling. She's bringing it all the way across the ice. She's in the zone. She's past two. Shot on goal as it goes high to the side. We're in the zone, though. We picked up the rebound. Georgia's back here saving the blue line. Takes a shot toward goal. Goes wide. Harper O's on that far side. She keeps it in. Puck's back behind the goal line on Wyoming. Ori picks it up. Adds, relays it. Harper saves that wall and blue line on that far wall again. Ori picks it up. Oh, gets off her stick. She tries to take a shot. Georgia does a nice block, keeping Team Wyoming from maintaining possession of the puck. It's over to Ads. Ads tries to pass to Ori as Team Wyoming stopped the pass, but the puck went forward across the blue line. We had an offside call on Team Wyoming. All the way down to 11:20 in the second period. Jesse's on the point, Paige on the far, Josie near, Harper and Harper on D. Team Wyoming gets the face-off win. They're in to that far circle. Paige loses her edge as she tries to block. Harper gets in the shooting lane and ricochets off a leg pad. Jessie picks up the trash. She is taken across the red. She does a nice pass over to Josie. It goes off the wall, but sets up Josie just perfect as you hear the thunk of her shot on the leg pad. Puck's loose across the neutral. Harper O to Harper S. Just crossed. Harper S shoveled it across the red line as there's a turnover at the red line again. Harper O picks it up. She puts it across the blue line, far wall. Paige was looking for it, but it's a pass off the wall. Jessie picked it up. Jessie's in the zone. She's dangling. She gets over to Josie's. A bit of a miscommunication on who is going to take that shot. Josie's looking for an open spot. And we just had a call. The ref just screamed something out and pointed over to the bench. Rough Riders coach is like, why? Good face-off, but Team Wyoming landed on Jessie's stick. We get it back into their zone. Wyoming puts it all the way across neutral. Georgia's picking it up. There's an icing call. Trying my best not to say anything about this particular ref, but she is pretty famous in the area for her calls. Wyoming wins that face-off, but Maddie rushes it. Puck gets back. Maddie picks it up from Maddie Benish. Lemon was trying to do some dangling, but Team Wyoming was able to get a stick on it. Gets past Maddie Benish, but Georgia's backing her up. Let's go team. Georgia picks up in that far corner. She's skating it up across the blue, setting up some speed. She's in the zone. She's looking for a shot. Shot on goal. It would have been up in the top right corner of the net, but the goalie was able to get a glove in that spot. We're down to 9:27. Looks like we have Ori on the far, Ads on the near, Maddie Lemon on point, Harper and Harper on D. Ori gets it back to Harper, but it gets just past her. Harper's putting some pressure on as Wyoming gets it all the way behind our net. Harper O picks it up. She does a D to D. It's over in that far corner. Wyoming did the right thing. They centered it, but there's nobody there. They try and save the blue line as Ads gets it across. She gets it up to Ori, but it gets past her. Lemon saves from getting all the way back. She loses an edge and she hits the wall. Ori's putting some good pressure against Team Wyoming. Pressure meaning she shoved the girl into the wall. That is a tripping call against Ori as the whistle blows. She swung her stick over as Wyoming advanced, and instead of hitting the puck, we hit a skate, so a tripping call. Honest mistake. We're down to 8:34 in the second period. First penalty call. We are on a penalty kill at this point. We have Harper S and Georgia out there on D, Josie and Jessie for the front line. Jessie's on the point. Good win by Jessie. Jessie gets it over Josie. Josie's right there at the right time. She is all the way in their zone looking for a shorthanded goal. Oh, the puck just went to the side. Harper S saves the blue line, takes a shot toward goal, ricochets off Team Wyoming. She was able to lift the stick right at the red line. Now they're battling Team Wyoming. Jessie was there to keep it out of our zone. Wyoming resets as they advance across our blue line. Harper S stops the advance about a foot over. Looks like some commentary besides between Harper S and Team Wyoming. Turnover here right below us. Josie and Jesse win that. Jesse to Harper S. Harper S skating across. She puts it in deep, wraps around to the far spot. Josie is there to get it. Josie's trying to get a shot open. I think she's looking for some help as Jesse skates forward. We're still in this penalty kill. There's no timer on the clock, and I apologize. I don't know what the timer or the time was when it went. Love this penalty kill because we're spending the majority of the time in their zone taking shots. Puck hits off the glass behind the net as puck finally, Team Wyoming gets a hold of it as they drive into the zone. Harper O picks it off the stick. Josie's got it again as she puts it deep. She hops off the ice. Ori is ready to hop back onto the ice. She's on the ice. Fantastic penalty kill by the Rough Riders. Wyoming tried to do some air time with that puck as Ori came on, and she actually was able to knock the puck down. Thankfully, it wasn't a high sticking. There was nobody near her. Offside call on the Rough Riders as it goes back and forth across the blue line. Lemon on point, adds on the near, Ori on the far, Harper O on the far D, and Maddie Benish on D. Gets back to Maddie Benish. Maddie Benish passes it forward to Lemon. Lemon's doing some dangling. She crosses the blue line. Everyone gets tripped up. Puck just gets over the blue line as Maddie Benish gets over to Harper O as we reset up to Ori. I'm pretty sure that was an offside, but there's no call. Team Wyoming thought they were going to skate it slowly out of their zone. They were wrong. Ori, Ads, and Jesse are there. Ori was trying to get across the ice. She was in deep. We have an offside call on Rough Riders at 5:53. Jesse on point. Josie and Paige for this near and far wall. Harper S and Georgia on D. Good win by Jesse. She gets over to Paige. Paige keeps it in the zone. Shot toward the net. Goes wide. Jesse picks up the trash. She centers it to Harper S, but it gets right over his skate when there's a Wyoming player right there. Harper waits just long enough to get it over the blue line as we reset. Back out of the zone, across the neutral zone. Harper S kind of draws in the Wyoming player, draws in two, draws three. She shovels it out. There's only one Wyoming player in deep as the puck goes up into the far net. Oh, sorry, above the wall in the far net. We'll have a face-off there on Wyoming's point. Same crew. We're down to 5:14 on the clock. Jesse gets it to Josie. Josie back to Georgia. Georgia tries to center it, but Team Wyoming was there on the pass. Team Wyoming drives it into the zone. Harper S gets a stick on it. Georgia backs up Harper in that far corner. Harper to Paige as they relay. Paige does a nice bank off the wall to herself. She is in with... She tries to take a solo shot. Goes wide. Josie was there. Puck gets loose. Harper S keeps it in the zone. Josie's in that far zone as she's battling against one. There's a couple girls on Team Wyoming that are just as tall as Josie, so a little bit more of an even fight. Some back and forth. Jesse to Josie. Josie takes a the idle time in between the shot and that goalie must have made that goalie lose their mind as time slowed down for her. Puck is loose back behind the goalie again. Over to Paige. Paige goes for that same shot she got one of our other goals on. Team Wyoming puts it all the way across the ice in a panic, get it out of their zone. We're down to 3:57 in the second period. Since that was an icing call against Wyoming, we'll have another face-off. Lemons on point, Ads on the near, Ori on the far. And we have Harper O and Maddie Benish on D. Good win on that face-off. Gets to Ori to Harper O. She tries to get a shot off, but the shooting lane's too tight. Another shot and goal by Harper O goes into the waiting glove of Team Wyoming. Team Wyoming goalie is getting her stats up here with the amount of shots she is receiving by Lady Rough Riders. Good face-off by Lemon. Ori brings it all the way over into this near while she brings it back, or she gets it up to Lemon in the near corner. Lemon to Ori. Ori's got an open lane shot toward goal, but it goes high and left. And we have a whistle. Looks like number 95 for Wyoming is going in to warm up the penalty bench. We're down to 3:19. I'm not sure if this is a minute 30 or a 2-minute penalty. Looks like we have Ads in this near wall, Lemon on point, Ori on the far. Upper S and Georgia on the far and near wall. Good win by Maddie to Ads, to Georgia, to Harper. Harper's loose, takes a shot toward goal, but gets deflected off a Wyoming player. Ads takes a shot. Ori receives a punch by the goalie in the back. Shot toward goal as it hits one of the players. Ads picks up the trash, gets a shot on goal. Ricochets off. She tries to do a wraparound, but the goalie's got her stick as a speed bump down on that far point. Ori's loose, trying to get past the ref and the Team Wyoming. Georgia saves the blue line, gets loose. Harper S gets it. She gets a shot, bounces in and out of the glove at the speed. We're down to 2:30 on this power play. Team Wyoming's tripping over the invisible tripwires on the ice. Some back and forth. It just gets over the zone. Ori's on her way out. Some back and forth. We're still on the ice. Oh boy, that was close as Ads was still climbing the wall as we drove it into the zone. Georgia gets in deep. Ori was there for the pickup on the rebound, but it gets over the stick. Harper S picks up that far wall. She takes a shot, and it goes way high and out of the zone. Georgia tried to do a cross-ice pass to Harper S. Team Wyoming was there. Georgia picks it up. She's trying to get out of the zone. Team Wyoming was there. Wyoming has a player number 5. She is short stuff, but she is always in the way. We're down to a minute 25 seconds or so as Team Wyoming gets it out of the zone. There's a rush across the ice. Harper S puts a stick as there's a shot toward Cora. Puck is loose. Jesse picks it up behind the net. She does a cross ice backhanded pass to Paige. Team Wyoming picked it up. Gets back to Georgia in the zone. She chips it up and over. That is an icing call, even though I'm pretty sure Team Wyoming's D got a stick on it. 56 seconds. I'm not sure when Team Wyoming got off the bench, but we're back 5-on-5. Under a minute, Team Wyoming trails Lady Rough Riders by 2 goals. It's a 2-0 game. We have Jessie and Paige, Harper O, and Maddie Benish. And Jessie's doing the face-off. She gets over to Maddie Benish. Maddie Benish wraps it around the far side. Team Wyoming gets to it first. Harper O backs it up. Gets up to Paige. Paige has crossed the blue, but they put a stick on it before the pass gets to Josie. Josie got to the trash at the red line and is trying to drive it in. Puck gets loose. Maddie Benish does a nice angle shot so it doesn't get an icing call. Team Wyoming puts it all the way across the ice. No one touched it. Icing call, Wyoming. 23.4 seconds in this second period. Team Wyoming won the faceoff, gets underneath Maddie Lemon's legs. The same center drives it all the way in. Harper O gets a stick out, but it is thankfully we got control of it. We have a tripping call against Harper O with 9.3 seconds on the clock. We are on a penalty kill, a second one of this game. We have Harper S. and Georgia on D, Ori and Maddie Lemon on. Oh, shot toward goal, quick by Team Wyoming on that face-off. There's a rebound, it's bounced off Cora, and they had someone all the way over getting a second shot, and Cora was able to cover it up. Now they're on a face-off with 9.3 seconds left on that clock. Lots of yelling from the benches. Team Wyoming actually won that faceoff, but it got into Maddie's skate, perfect position. Georgia drives it out of the zone. Team Wyoming from the neutral zone trying to take a falling shot toward Cora. It goes 10 feet wide. We're going to be starting out our third period with Harper O in the box. Penalty kill for Lady Rough Riders. Hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. They ate a lot. Kind of hang out with friends and family. As the Canadians say, it was just another Thursday, but they're just bitter because they had to work and we had the day off. We're going to have a second game today. I believe it's around 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Since I can't look at my phone, I'm not 100% positive, but that should be about the time that we have another game. Girls are playing really well this early morning. It's always rough when some of them had to wake up at 4 something in the morning. We have a couple returns from injuries, lower body and upper. And I think a couple of them are getting over colds at this point too. So overall, they're playing well. Looks like it's a 2-minute. They put up the penalty clock for Harper. Again, Lady Rough Riders lead by 2 coming into the final 15 minutes of this game. Looks like we're going to have Jesse on point, Josie on the far, Harper S, and Georgia on D. All right, there's that whistle. Goalies switch spots. Cora's back in her home. Team Wyoming wins that faceoff, gets back to center to D as they drive into the zone. Josie's getting a stick on it. She does a centering backhanded pass. Beautiful pass by Team Wyoming. Jesse was there to pick it up though. They put it all the way across the ice. Harper S picks it up. She gets dangling past 1. She's past 2. She's got 2 in front of her. Just gets picked off by Team Wyoming. They knew that dangle. Georgia picks it up in our zone as she drives it out of our zone. Team Wyoming tips it right at the blue line, but it's an offside call on Team Wyoming. Down to 1:14 on this penalty kill. Same crew. Team Wyoming won that face-off again, but they go down at the red line as they go D passing. Josie's putting some good pressures. George is there as the puck goes into our zone as they reset in the neutral zone. Pretty sure that was an attempt at a shot, but it goes off the edge of her stick. They try to center it. Gets back to their D. Oh, the puck almost glanced off Cora's pad on an angle, but it got backed up by D. Harper S gets it out. Team Wyoming picked up that pass. We're down to 22 seconds as Josie's got it. She's only got 1 in front of her. She's got 2 in front of her. She goes into her shooting spot. Puck goes wide as she takes a shot. Puck is loose. Slippery ice down here as Harper S gets over the blue line. 5 seconds left in this penalty kill. Looks successful to me as Team Wyoming puts it down the zone. Georgia to Harper S. She's got 1. She got back checked. And she almost got taken off. Paige lost her stick as Wyoming slid on her side. Harper O to Lemon. Lemon's up at the top of the point. Gets over to Paige. Paige has got 1 that's just on her 6 the whole time. Harper S saves that red line. Team Wyoming picks up the tumbling puck and gets it in. Georgia picks it up and drives it out of our zone. It's across the red. Team Wyoming was there, but it gets a Harper S. Harper S brings it in. Shot on goal off the leg pad. Wyoming got it to the red line, but Georgia was there to get it back into the zone. We're down to 12:15 in this game. Good effort by Lemon as she was able to pick up the puck off just over the blue line. Paige gets a shot up. Oh! Wyoming almost fumbled the puck as she didn't get a glove on it. She fell forward onto the puck. 11:59 as we get a face-off. We have Jesse on the point, Maddie Benish and Harper O on D, Ori on that far wall, and Paige is on this near wall. Jesse got that face-off after a couple little back and forths. Gets loose as Wyoming rushed the point. They try and do a centering pass. Ori was there to get it out of our zone. Gets back to their single D. She drives it all the way in. Maddie Benish stops it at the top of this circle on the far side. Shot slash pass. It was to nobody and not to the goal by Wyoming. Puck's loose on that far wall. Wyoming got to it first. Maddie Benish backed up Ori. Wyoming buries it in deep as it wraps around. Harper O picks it up on this near corner. She relays it. Puck is loose. It's slowing down. There's enough snow on the ice to slow it down. Jesse just saves the puck, but it gets bouncing at the blue line, gets out of the zone. Jesse pins a girl that's a foot taller than her up against the wall, recovers the puck. Page to Harper S. Puck is back in our zone. Harper O's picking it up. We're down to 10:40 on the clock. Long pass across the ice from Harper O to Harper S. Harper S is in the zone. She's got two in front of her. Team Wyoming was able to get it off her stick. Ads is in there backing her up as we get some fresh skaters on the ice. Turnover at the red line. Georgia picks it up in our zone and she brings it along the goal line. That ref was right in the way. Screened Wyoming away from Georgia. Georgia drove it in and she gets shouldered, taken off her skates. Harper S saves the red line. Jesse moved into position. Oh, great backhanded shot, bouncing from Josie straight down the center at 10:01. Looks like we have Georgia and Harper S out here. Ads, Josie, and Maddie Lemon. Maddie Lemon gets the puck back to Harper S. She gets a shot, but it bounces off Maddie Lemon. Harper's back behind the net, does a wraparound shot off the goalie leg pad. Puck is loose. That is going to be an icing call all day long. Oh, well, that was a delayed one. Thought she was going to wave it off. Have our face-off here at 9:38. Lemon's on point, Ads on the near, Josie on the far, Harper S and Georgia on D. Good win by Lemon, gets it back to Georgia. Georgia sets up, does a shot toward goal off the stick of one of the defenders. Puck is tied up in the netting above the goalie on the back wall. Let's get a new, fresh, warm puck. Good face-off by Lemon. Josie's just dangling around over in that far circle. Ads backs her up. Team Wyoming gets past Harper S. Georgia backs her up. That same number 5. She's about half the height of Josie, but she skates nearly as fast. Team Wyoming buries it all the way across the red line. That is icing call. Again, very delayed. Another face-off in Wyoming zone. 8:59 on this clock in the third period. Harper and Harper on D. Ori and Page. Jesse doing the face-off. Gets back to Harper. Oh, she tries to do a swinging shot. Puck goes underneath her stick. Team Wyoming's in the zone. We're on D now. Harper S gets over to it behind. She goes to D. Page picks it up in this near corner as she gets ground into the wall by Wyoming. Wyoming recovers it. They get it into our zone. Harper S gets a stick on it out of the zone. Fantastic offside call by the ref. Best refs in the world when it gets called on the other team. Face off, 8:27 on this near point at the Rough Riders blue line. Jesse on face off. Page on this near wall, Harper and Harper on D. Ori. Jesse goes down, but she was able to sweep the puck forward, but Harper to Jesse at our blue line. Jesse rushes across in that far wall. She chips it into the zone. Puck gets past 2, now past 3, got out of the zone. Harper S stops it before it gets too far in. Offside call against Lady Rough Riders. That was a questionable call. Looks like we have 7:58 on the clock. I say it looks like, it's difficult to see through the white thick netting that they have protecting the audience. Good face-off by Lemon. An effort by Ads and Ori as shot on goal by Maddie. Ori picks it up on this far wall, backed up by Lemon. Some back and forth. Maddie Banish saves that blue line. She passes it up toward Ads, gets underneath the stick. Puck is loose at neutral zone as Team Wyoming drives it in. Puck goes all the way over to that far side blue line. Team Wyoming keeps it in. They get a pass shot toward goal. Ori's got it. She's banking it off the wall, but there's just too much Wyoming there to get it out of our zone. George is on the ice. She gets it over the blue line, gets it up to Ori. Ori tries to chip it in. Wyoming's D was there, tying it up. Lemon flies in. Puck was loose. Ori gets picked at the center of the top of the point. Shot toward goal, hits the side of the net. Wyoming's goalie reached around and covered it. .646 on the clock. Harper and Harper on D. Jesse on point, Josie and Page. Team Wyoming won that faceoff. Harper O keeps it in the zone as from back and forth on that far wall. Jesse, Page, and Josie were all across the goal line trying to battle it out with Wyoming as the puck gets loose. On the far wall, it is over. Harper S and Team Wyoming is on it. Harper S gets to it first. She skates behind Cora, does a little bit of a button hook. She passes up to Josie. They drew the girl, Team Wyoming, in good deep. Paige just gets over the blue line. Josie backs her up. They're on this inside wall. Everybody touched the puck at this point. Harper flies across to the top of the point, pushes up to Jesse, just gets past the goalie. Josie's picking up in that far corner. Jesse's on the front porch. Puck is loose. Jesse gets out, takes a shot toward goal. Wyoming's D had a stick in front of that shot. Josie picks it up. She's looking for a pass back to Harper S. Harper S gets a shot on goal. Ricochets off everybody as Josie, Paige, and Jesse were just swinging for all they were worth to try and get it past that goalie. Their goalie is the size of a goalie everybody wants. She was able to get in the way the whole time. 5:26. Lady Rough Riders still lead 2-0. Lemon on that face-off. Wyoming wins that face-off, but Ads and Lemon rush it good. Team Wyoming brings it across center ice. They're in, thankfully no tripping call this time as she falls off her skates. Team Wyoming puts it in deep. Maddie Benish picks it up, gets off her stick over to Georgia. We've got nearly every Rough Rider over here in this corner. All right, gets up to Ads. Gets away from ads. Their D takes a shot toward goal, bounces in and out of Cora's glove. All right, Maddie's on that far wall with Ori as they get it past. Maddie down to her knees, passes forward to Ori. Ori brings it into the zone. Ori gets shoved off her skates. George is there. She takes a bouncing shot toward goal. Puck is out. There's another call. Checking call. Ref just asked Ori to get in the box. Hooking call. Sorry, not a checking call. Hooking call. We're on the penalty kill at 4:09. Good face-off win by Jesse. Jesse gets up to Paige. Paige is... They're blowing the whistle over and over as Paige drives it all the way across and takes a shot on goal. I think all Paige heard in her helmet was goal, 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 and not the whistle blowing. Thankfully, it wasn't another penalty call. Good battle, same face-off. Jesse gets it to Paige. This time, Wyoming did not allow her to get across neutral. Jesse and Paige battling on this near wall. Puck gets loose. Jesse does a backhanded pass to herself. Off the wall, she picks it up. She is looking for a shot on goal. Oh, she drove it all the way to the doorstep of the goalie. Goalie smothered it. We're down to 3:46 on this clock, on this penalty kill. We're on offense in Wyoming zone. Jesse on point, Harper and Harper on D. Paige on that near wall. It's past Harper at the blue line. Harper O's picking off Team Wyoming. Oh, shot on goal. Cora just sweep to the side from one post to the other as Team Wyoming took a fantastic shot on Cora. We're down to 3:34 on this penalty kill. We're in our zone. Looks like we have Josie in and Lemon in. Georgia and Harper S. Shot toward goal goes high. Puck gets loose at the point. Georgia swooped in like a superhero. Drives it all the way into their zone. Puts it toward the net. Josie picks it up. She's behind the net. Team Wyoming picks it from her. Josie's back to retrieve it. Lemon backs her up. We win the puck. Lemon's behind the net. She is looking for a... Harper calls a pass from Lemon. Good pass, but there's some pressure as the wrist shot goes high to the right from Harper S. Team Wyoming's in our zone. George's does a great back check. Picks up the puck up to Josie. Gets just past Josie. It's on its way for no icing call. Good call, ref. Puck back to Georgia. Thanks, Team Wyoming. Georgia saves the line twice. Stangelin. Shot on goal. Hits the goalie right below the face mask. Harper gets it. Takes a shot on goal. Hits the glove and goes down. Lemon picks up in that far corner. We're at the 2-minute mark. Team Wyoming chips it up and out. Gets past Georgia at the red line in our zone. Georgia gets it past the blue line. Offside call on Team Wyoming. They had the advantage, but they had too deep in our zone. 1:50 on the third period. Looks like we're going to have a face-off center ice. Jesse on point, adds on the near, Page on the far, Georgia and Harper O on B. Good face-off win by Jesse. She gets over to Ads, slips off Ads' stick, but she got the retrieval, gets to the Page. Page had 3 on her. Turnover. George is at the red line as she drives it backed up by Page. Page puts it in deep across the blue. Wyoming put along the outside wall. Georgia gets to it first. Pass bounces off Team Wyoming's skate, gets to Jesse. Jesse keeps it in. Page tries to do a backhanded shot, but she gets back checked. Jesse gets a hold of it right at the bottom of the inside circle over to Page. Page is behind the net, dangling. Gets to Ads. Ads is screening the goalie. Boy, that looked like practice. That was perfect setup. We're down to 5:58 and a half seconds. Face off on this near circle. Harper and Harper on D. Ori, Lemon, and Josie out there. Lemon gets it back to Harper S. Team Wyoming was there for that pass. They are loose. Shot on goal by Team Wyoming. They saw an opening between the legs. That gets Wyoming on the board in the final 46 seconds on this game. Ori and Josie, Lemon on the face-off, Harper and Harper on D. Team Wyoming wins that face-off. Josie's there to put pressure as they pass back. Wyoming's in the zone. Lemon puts some side pressure in. Wyoming goes off their skates. Number 5, Wyoming tried to do a wraparound. Puck goes all the way into the zone. It's loose. Ori's to it first. She's behind the net. She does a shot on, goal. There's pickup. Josie shoots just wide. Harper S. She lost the puck again, but she retrieved it and gets a shot on goal. We've got a something against black. Harper O's in the box again. We're on a penalty kill with 10.3 seconds left on the clock. This is not where we want to be with the final 10 seconds, where Wyoming could tie this game up. Jesse's on point. Jesse wins the face-off. Back to Georgia. Georgia tries to get it out of the zone. Wyoming dives for it. Josie gets to it. We're at 2 seconds. Josie's in the zone. Shot on goal in the final buzzer. Not gonna lie, that made me nervous. Rough Riders back to give some love and good job to Cora. So once again, we're going to have a game here around 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Definitely follow up with your family. So they'll probably give you an update on that time in case it changes or I'm incorrect. We're completed with our good jobs and good games between Team Wyoming Lady Rough Riders. Lady Rough Riders 2, Team Wyoming 1. That was a good game and closer than it probably should have been, but we are short-handed and they did really well. Thanks for watching.